If your belly fat never seems to change no matter how much training you do, these different dieting methods, trying different workouts, there's a reason for that. In this video, I'm going to explain why belly fat is so stubborn in the first place, the one form of exercise that's massively underrated when it comes to losing it, how you can start using it right away to finally get the body that you want. Before we get into it, click the first link in the description box. It's going to take you through to a free training that shows you exactly how to lose body fat and build muscle at the same time in the most easiest way possible. A lot of the principles that I cover in this video are broken down step by step. Just fill in your details and I'll send it right over to your email. Now you get your free stuff, let's get back to it. Firstly, we need to understand why belly fat is so stubborn in the first place. Your body doesn't lose fat evenly from every area at the same time. Genetics will play a big part in where you lose first and where you store body fat initially. For most people, your midsection is one of the last parts to lean out when you're dieting. I know, what a piss take. That's why you might notice body fat coming off your face, arms, legs, other areas like that before it reaches your stomach. It's annoying, I know, but it's completely normal. Unfortunately, there's no way to spot reduce fat from a specific area on your body. The only way to lose it is to just diet long enough so eventually it all comes off. And the way you do that is by creating, as we know, a calorie deficit. Burning more calories than you consume over time. And if that deficit is maintained long enough, fat will eventually come off from everywhere. Now, most people already understand this, and that's exactly why they do so much cardio when they first start their fat loss journey and eventually burn out. They start running, cycling, trying HIIT workouts, all these different things. Yeah, these workouts burn calories quickly, which makes them seem like the best way to speed up your fat loss. But here's the problem with that. Most people just simply can't maintain that for long enough. This type of cardio is hard, very hard long term. They require a lot of motivation, a lot of discipline. And what tends to happen is, yeah, you be consistent with it for a couple of weeks, maybe even a couple of months. But eventually you start skipping sessions, you start losing motivation, the consistency drops, and then you end up back exactly where you started. Consistency is going to be the biggest driver in terms of seeing results, not just short term, but long term. Years ago, when I was 30 kilos overweight, I used to rely heavily on intense cardio. As I said earlier, the biking, the running, the HIIT sessions, all of it. And yeah, it worked short term, but after a couple of months, I was burnt out all the time. I was dragging my feet across the day, and eventually I just called it quits. You see, fat loss doesn't come down to the most intense method. It comes down to the method that you can repeat consistently and long enough for you to get to the point where you want to be. And that's where the most underrated fat loss tool comes in: walking. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Walking, it's not proper cardio, is it? Not intense, you're not draining sweat, and you don't feel absolutely knackered once you've stopped. But that's exactly the point. Your body doesn't care where you're burning calories from, whether they come from a HIIT workout or just simply moving more throughout the day. Fat loss ultimately comes down to the total calories that you burn over time. Walking might burn fewer calories than your running or your biking or any of that. But because it's low stress and easy to recover from, you can do it more often and more consistently, which is going to result in longer term results. Remember, those calories will start to add up very quickly. For example, a simple 1 hour walk can burn around 200 calories, depending on your weight and the pace you're walking at. That might not sound like much, but if you add that in several times per week, over the course of months, that can add up to thousands of extra calories burned. And unlike intense cardio, it doesn't wreck your recovery, which means the likelihood of you maintaining, if not building muscle while you're in this deficit, will drastically increase because you have enough energy and enough strength to progress in them sessions every single week. This is why walking has become my main bit of cardio when it comes to getting lean and staying there. So how do you actually implement this? First step is figuring out how many steps on average you're doing per day. Most smartphones track this through obviously the health app, or you can buy yourself a fitness watch. Track your steps for a week and look at your daily average. A lot of people are surprised how low it is when they actually track it. 3, 4, 5,000 maybe a day might sound like a negative, but it's actually a positive because you have a lot more room to push, which makes for a bigger opportunity to progress. Instead of jumping straight to the magic 10,000 a day number, start with a small increase. Let's say you're only doing 5,000 steps a day right now. Just bump that up to 7. Every single day, an additional 2,000 doesn't sound like a lot, but over the course of a week, you've increased your overall step count by 14,000 steps. On that point as well, one easy way to get more steps in throughout the day is just to simply be more conscious of moving after you've consumed a meal. The reason why I say this is because when you consume food, your body then goes through the process of digesting that food to aid and make that digestion process smoother and more efficient. Try and get out for a 5 or 10 minute walk. It will just aid that digestion and it won't sit heavy on your stomach and you won't get that dip in energy, which you would do when you eat your food and you just go sit back down at your desk or you chill on the sofa. Once you start getting consistent with the example of 7,000 steps a day, bump that up to 8, get consistent with 8, bump that up to 9, and so on. The key thing though is to make all of this easier on yourself. So, for example, when you go to the supermarket or the shops, right, park further away at the bottom of the car park. You have to walk a lot more. Take the stairs instead of the lift. Go take the dog out for a walk more. Just go on a walk on your own, listen to a podcast, watch a YouTube video. Pair that healthy habit with something that you're going to enjoy, because then it makes it easy for you to stay consistent with. These small habits may seem small, but they add up quickly over time. When those extra steps start to accumulate every single day and every single week and every single month, that fat loss really starts to move, especially within that midsection. Now, it's important to note that this form of cardio is only going to be effective when you pair it with proper nutrition. You could be walking 20, 30,000 steps a day, but if you're shoving a load of crap down your neck every single day, there's not really much point. Think about it, the calories you burn on a long walk, you're going to put that straight back on if you go back home and scram a Snickers. So your diet should be your primary way to put yourself into that deficit, with walking to act as a tool as cardio to accelerate the process. Now, if you want to see exactly how to structure your training and your nutrition alongside it to lose fat and build muscle in the most efficient way possible, click the first link in the description box and grab that free training that I mentioned earlier. And if you're still here, listen to me ramble. 1, I appreciate it. And 2, YouTube is a smart little bastard. So it thinks that you are going to like this video. Give it a watch. If you don't like it, don't blame me. I didn't suggest it. That's your lot. Thanks for coming. Peace.